I think we're ready to see some green. Jason Kelly leads them to the start-finish line, and he is very late picking up the speed. There we go, and we're racing! All right, breaking in the lead is Ron Sprague in the 42, but Jason Kelly not letting him get too far away in the 57. All right, we got a little bit of a spin over in turn 4. Everybody seems to have survived. Modest got loose. A little bit of contact with Farquhar in the 77, but everybody's rolling. All right, up front, there's your leader, 42, Ron Sprague. All right, up front is Sprague, it's Kelly, it's Modest, it's Farquhar running 1 through 4. All right, the best battle on track right now is for 5th spot. Dylan Mosley in the 38, Larry Lewis in the 95. They got 3 cars right behind them that wouldn't mind being a part of that as well. Like Rene Modest in the 15 may have a tire going down as he loses 3rd spot to Landon Farquhar. That's definitely a flat tire on the 15, and that's probably going to be terminal. All right, up front, it's Ron Sprague, 42, Jason Kelly, 57, Landon Farquhar in the 77. They have pulled away significantly from the rest of the pack. And we got a spin over in turn 2. That looks like Shane Moore in the 18 going around, and he has stopped on the infield. Let's see if he can get back rolling again. Yes, it looks like he will, and we're going to stay green. As your leader's starting to get into some slower traffic now, let's see what that does. Ron Sprague pulling up on the back of the number 8. That is DJ Schroet. Schroet and RC in the 9 car getting the move over sign. And I seem to think that they got the block the road sign. Let's see. All right, Sprague splits the 2 of them. He makes it through. And now Jason Kelly looks like he's going to clear the two slower cars. All right, it's Sprague in the 42, Jason Kelly in the 57. They're left to shoot this one out. All right, laps are running down. If Jason Kelly's got anything for Sprague, he needs to show it now. As Renee Modest in the 15 is back on the track after having had a flat tire, and right now is in the infield. All right, two to go this time by Ron Sprague, Jason Kelly. They're running 1-2. 77 Landon Farquhar is your third place car. All right, white flag, one more lap. Let's see if Jason Kelly has anything left for Ron Sprague in the 42. They got one lap to settle it. All right, it could be close as we come down to the start-finish line. There's your checkered flag. There's your winner. 42, Ron Sprague. 57, Jason Kelly second. 77, Landon Farquhar runs home third. All right, here we go. Let's do this. We're racing. All right, up front is Zachary Calhoun, the 9W of Roy Walker. As you can see, has Miguel Mendoza Jr. in this crew as well. So a lot of interrelationships working here as we're ready to go racing. There's the green. Let's go. All right, it's up front. Zachary Calhoun in the 22, 25, Nathan Rahi. 5A is Eric Rahi. They run 1, 2, 3. All right, your leader coming up on some slower traffic, and one spins right in front of him and collects our leader. Once again, Zachary Calhoun leading him around. Then slow to pick up the speed. Coming out of 4, he does, and away we go. Ooh, we got a bump over out of turn 4, and that's going to collect at least 3 cars, looks like. To be putting his pedal down. All right, here we go. We're running toward the green, and we're racing. All right, it's Zachary Calhoun, but he's getting lots of pressure from the 25R of Nathan Rahi. And we have a little... Yeah, he picks up speed a lot earlier this time. And here we go. They're back to racing. All right, the two Rahis getting together. Nathan Rahi able to bring that 25R car back under control. As the number 1 car comes up and gets into the fight for the lead, or at least for third, that is Mason Castaneda in the 1. We have now a fight between the 5A of Eric Rahi and Mason Castaneda in the number 1 for that third spot. Up front, Zachary Calhoun, he's pulling away a little bit. Nathan Rahi in the 25R is second. Side by side for third place at the start-finish line. All right, looks like Nathan Rahi is going to take third place back in the 5A. All right, now we got the two Rahis going at it for second place. Nathan Rahi has it. Eric Rahi, he wouldn't mind taking it away. And we got a car spun around over out of turn 2. He's on the infield, and we're staying green for now. No, we're not staying green for now. All right, here they come. Once again, it's Mason Castaneda in the 1. Trying to join the 3 leaders up front. And now it's Nathan Rahi in the 25R that has fallen to third place, trying to hang on to the charge from Mason Castaneda. Up front is Eric Rahi in that 5A. He's putting a little pressure on Zach Calhoun. right, Eric Rahi right on the back bumper of Zachary Calhoun. He's taking a look on the inside. All right, we got 2 laps to go. 2 more laps. And we got a spin over in turn 2. But he's still rolling, and we're still green. That was Mason Castaneda in the 1 as Zachary Calhoun gets the white flag. 1 lap to go. All right, Eric Rahi in the 5A. Can he make a late charge? No. It's going to be Zachary Calhoun in the 22, Eric Rahi in the 5A, Nathan Rahi in the 25R. That's the way they finish up. This is your EMOD feature race of the evening. Memorial, everybody. Zachary Calhoun, young man from King High School here in Corpus Christi, putting on a great run for us tonight. There's your green. Here we go. All right, some very fast cars up front. I do know the 4T. That is Mike Trigg racing the station wagon, and he won one of the heat races last night. The BD1, that is Jarrett Barber. He won the other heat race last night. Running third, the 41, a car that you see here quite often. That is Wade Jones out of Jourdanton, Texas. The 94, that is Hector Aguirre, and we have a spin over in between turns 1 and 2. The 34 is Greg. Right now, Mike Trigg is leading them to the start-finish line, and we are racing. All right, it's Trigg in that 4T. He's off quick. He's off in a hurry. He has the lead. Wade Jones in the 41 running second. BD1 of Jarrett Barber currently holds third. Hector Aguirre in the 94 is running fourth. And Hector Aguirre in the 94 going around over between turns 1 and 2. He does the 360 but keeps on going, and we're staying green. And we got a couple right behind him, next to him. And here we go. Let's do some racing. All right, once again, it's Mike Trigg away in a hurry in the 4T. Wade Jones right now holding second. Jarrett Barber has third. All right, it's Trigg, Jones, Barber up front, and then we got all kinds of action going on back about fourth spot. Got 4 cars vying for fourth. Right now, it looks like Marita Major in the 33, Hector Aguirre in the 94, William Stevens in the 13S, and the 44 car, Zach Spillman, all wanting fourth spot. But right now, Hector Aguirre in the 94 is the man that has it. Mike Trigg pulling away. Wade Jones second. Jared Barber closing up for second place. All right, William Stevens in the 13S taken to the infield. That's going to cost him a couple of spots, and he sends a tractor tire out on the track. All right, he's on the gas. Here we go. All right, we're running. And a lot of horsepower being shown by the 4T on the backstretch as he pulls away from Wade Jones in the 41. Working on the outside for third place, that is Hector Aguirre in the 94. Hector's going to make that work as he moves into third place, taking it from Jarrett Barber. Our battle right now is for third place as Ryan Carlucci off into the infield, but he's still rolling and we're still green. Third place battle, Hector Aguirre in the 94, the 1 of Jarrett Barber. They're going at it pretty good. All right, it's Trigg in the 4T, Wade Jones in the 41, Hector Aguirre in the 94, and he's still under pressure from the BD1 of Jarrett Barber. All right, two to go. Looks like Mike Trigg's got this covered. Looks like Wade Jones has second place covered. The battle is for third. All right, white flag out. Mike Trigg, Wade Jones, and your battle for third. Hector Aguirre 94. The BD1 is Jarrett Barber, and they've got one lap to go to settle third place. Here he comes, leading from the get-go to the finish. 4T, Mike Trigg is your winner. Second place goes to Wade Jones in the 41. Holding on for third, 94, Hector Aguirre. Nice. This group had a lot of trouble spinning out last night. Let's see what happens tonight, because we are away and we are racing. .151, Jeffrey Norriskow has the quick lead. And 25R quickly finding where the outside limits of racing is. And we got a spin by the 96. That is John Smith going around over in turn 4. And caution. All right, here we go. We're racing. All right, it's Jeff Norriscow in the 151, Sierra Smith in the 22. Four W's, Ricky Rogers. 22S, Justin Skinner. All right, up front, Norriscow getting a little challenge from Sierra Smith. Sierra losing a little bit of control coming out of turn number 4, and that costs her a spot on the track as Ricky Rogers moves into the second. All right, Justin Skinner in that 22 R, passing the 22, takes over, or that's 22S, excuse me, takes third place. As Sierra Smith in the 22 goes way high, and the 88, a little creative driving here coming out of turn 4, but still rolling forward. All right, looks like Justin Skinner in the 22S. He got that little machine rolling. He takes over second. All right, it's Jeff Norriscow in the lead still in the 151, 22S. Justin Skinner running second. Can the little sports compact win this thing? He certainly seems intent on it as he's beginning to pull in the 151 of Jeff Norriscow. All right, the 88 car could play in this as the two leaders come up on a slower car. '88 pulls out of the way, but Norriscow and Skinner running 1-2. Third place belongs to Ricky Rogers. And look who's back, 96, John Smith, as we have a challenge up front for the lead. Skinner working the outside in the 22S. Can he make it work? All right, there's 2 to go now. It's all up to these 2 to decide it. All right, Norriscow pushes up out of turn 2. That opens the door for the 22S of Justin Skinner. Norriscow fighting back on the outside. Let's see if he can make that work for him. He pushes up pretty high. That's going to open up the door for Skinner in the 22S. This is the last lap. Let's see what happens. This could be fun. Uh-oh, Norriscow coming out of turn 2, and looks like Skinner with a problem. And looked like he may have lost power on that, hard to tell, but there is your winner, 151, Jeff Norriscow. Second place, Ricky Rogers in the Ford W. Coming home third will be...
That was that Mustang that DJ drove.
I should have asked Ken. Huh? I should have asked Ken.
Yeah, he didn't know the one from.
Well, since they put on the best show, I think we should give them full pay.
Where's the 151 quarter mile car?
Of course it is. That's why he said
All right, there he is. Let's give Jeff Norskow a big hand. Here's your winner tonight in the bomber class in the feature race on Memorial Weekend. Montgomery. And I don't know if Heath Lindy is here tonight. We shall see. He couldn't run last night. All right, we're racing. Let's do it. And yes, Heath Lindy in the 22 is on the track. All right, up front. It is the 44 of Joe Spillman taking the early lead as the 12 of Cody Leonard runs second. Cody Leonard on the 12 working on the inside, trying to take first place away. Not going to quite happen now. In the third spot is, well, we got one spinning around, so it doesn't really matter who's in the third spot because the number 91 is around and stopped on the track. 44 of Joe Spillman. All right, here they come. And away we go. All right, here we go. Once again, we got a little banging going on in the back of the pack, but nobody hurt so far. As the 10 car goes off on an excursion into the infield, cost him a great many spots. That is Brandon Martin. And up front, we've got a challenge for the lead. 12, Cody Leonard takes it away from the 44 of Joe Spillman. The 12 car, Cody Leonard. Cody's bringing him around very slow. He's picking it up out of 4. Here we go. All right, Cody Leonard in 12, away strong. 44 car in second, that is Spillman. Third place belongs to Mike Martin in the 5. And we got a big wreck over in turn 4. As it looks like the 15 car got sideways in turn 4, and the 92 car had nowhere to go but ram into him. Gonna go. Get them slowing down right when he's going on. All right, here we go. We're racing. All right, we got a big Wreck-O-Rama over in turn 1. All right, now he's got one car on his back and on instead of 2. And here we go. right, it's Cody Leonard in the 12. He is pulling away. The 5 is Mike Martin. He's running second. Running third is the 137. That is William Pitaway. All right, the car to watch is the 44 of Joe Spillman. He was running up front at the start of the race, got sent to the back. He's trying to work his way back up to the front. He's currently running fourth. Got a caution. All right, Leonard leads him around very late out of turn 4, puts the pedal down. And we got one up into the wall over in turn 1. All right, we will as soon as we get another break. All right, here they come. There they go. We are racing. This is the Modifieds. This is their feature race tonight. Out front, Cody Leonard in the 12. Mike Martin in the 5. Running second, William Pitaway in the 37. Running third. All right, Cody Leonard in the 12. He's pulling away. Martin still holding second right now. The best race on the track. Bulls for third place. William Pitaway in the 37 trying to hold off the number 44 of Joe Spillman. All right, Spillman in the 44. He's tracking William Pitaway in the 37, but Pitaway seems to have the straight line speed. All right, leading him around, the number 12 car, Cody Leonard. He's on the gas hard, but timing it very nicely is Mike Martin in the number 5, as he was right there with a very good timing on that restart. William Pitaway in the 37 looks like he's going to hold the third. All right, laps are winding down as you see the 44 looking on the inside of the 37, but 37 has definitely got the horsepower down the straightaway. All right, 2 to go. 2 to go to Cody Leonard and the rest of the field as they roll past. All right, Cody Leonard stretching it on out, and for his efforts, he gets the white flag. Mike Martin in the 5 is next. Then William Pitaway in the 37. Right behind him in the 44, there's Joe Spillman. Joe Spillman got one more lap, but Pitaway seems to have that straightaway speed to pull away. So Spillman in the 44 going to have to make some kind of move on the turn here. As we have a winner in the number 12, Cody Leonard. We have a second place car in Mike Martin. We have a third place finisher in. All right, lead him around. That is E.J. Gilpin in the 121. He's ready to go racing. So is everybody else. Let's show him a green. All right, E.J. Gilpin slowing on the backstretch. Something happened to his car. Looks like he's picking back up again, but that opened the door for the 87 of Robert Danielson to take second place. And E.J. Gilpin having problems again in the 121 as that car is very, very slow here on the front stretch. And looks like that Joe Snow is bringing him on around. Here he comes. Getting a little push for the number 20, but here we go. This could be fun. All right, 4 wide in the back stretch. That's not going to last long, and it doesn't. As the 213 goes around, and that will bring out a caution. Means we're ready to go racing. Kevin Sullivan is going to show him the green as Joseph Snow leads him around. There's your green flag. Let's do some racing. All right, shooting out of the pack this time is the number 20 car of Colt Beaver. And he's right behind Joseph Snow. Robert Danielson falling back to third. Colt Beaver trying to work the low line to get around Joseph Snow. Let's see who has the horsepower to pull it through down the back stretch. And Joseph Snow secures the lead going into turn 3, holds it through turn 4. He jumped him last time. All right, here we go. Looks like Joseph Snow going a little slow through turns 1 and 2, and he gets roughed up a little bit, but hangs on. And he is now getting a challenge from the number 20 car. And it looks like the number 20 edging inside. All right, here we go. Joseph Snow getting a pretty good push from Robert Danielson in the 87, and we are away and we are racing. And Robert Danielson in the 87 works on the inside of Snow. And coming along for the ride is Colt Beaver, looks like. All right, Snow is able to hold off Colt Beaver, but up front is Robert Danielson. 51 car Daniel Ware right in that mix. All right, here we go. Danielson, Snow, and Colt Beaver. Run 1, 2, 3. Moving into the 4th spot is the 10-8. That is Caleb Hutchins. All right, second place under a challenge, Joseph Snow, Colt Beaver. It looks like the number 10 of Caleb Hutchins just went to the pits. All right, it's Danielson in the 87, Snow in the 01, the 20 is Colt Beaver. That's the way they're running, 1, 2, 3. Look like we got some smoke coming out of the 54 car of Tommy Miller. Have to keep an eye on that. All right, we're halfway. And it's still a challenge for second place. Snow and Beaver running second and third. All right, Beaver in the 20. He's trying to go inside. Let's see. And the two get together coming out of turn 4. Colt Beaver has the lead. I don't think Joe Snow is real happy with how he got it. All right, now Joe Snow having to hold off driver number 28. And looks like he may lose that third spot to Mason Castaneda. He does, going into turn 3. So is now Castaneda holding down third spot. Joseph Snow fighting back. And after a tough fight with Colt Beaver, Joe Snow's got a tough battle now with Mason Castaneda. And Castaneda in the 28 car looks like he has third place. And up front, Robert Danielson starting to catch some slower traffic as right now the track is blocked as he's trying to go through. He's able to get by Tom Thor in the 52. John Ramirez in the 73 will be the next one to get by. All right, Colt Beaver in the 20. Looks like he's got a fast car. He needs to figure a way around John Ramirez to get up and challenge for the lead. There, he's done it on the back stretch. All right, he's got a clear path now to the number 87, Robert Danielson. But time is running out. We're down to 2 laps to go. All right, the white flag is ready to wave, and there it is for 87, Robert Danielson. Colt Beaver in the 20 running second. Third spot is Castaneda in the 28. All right, here's the checker for your winner in the 87, Robert Danielson. Second place goes to Colt Beaver in the 20. Third place goes to Castaneda in the 28. Despite a late charge from Joseph Snow in the 01. And that's the way they. All right, Dustin Butcher leads him around. He's ready to go racing. Let's do it. Let's race. And we got a spin over in turn 1. Looks like the number 23 car of Kevin Schilling. All right, here we go. Green flag. We're racing. All right. Got a real challenge for the lead on the back stretch. Dustin Butcher in the 90, 63 car. That is Shane Heffling. And that looks like a battle that may go on for a while. 87, Lawrence Maklicek, he wants a piece of that action as well, as he currently runs third. And, whoa, we got one going.
Help me out, y'all.
All right, I think you can tell that Dustin's all right, although not happy at the number 63 car of Shane Heflin as he just fired his helmet at him. All right, here we go. Green flag's out. Let's do it. And we got the 551 with some problems, and he is in the infield. Up front, it's Shane Heflin in the 63, but Lawrence Maklicek in the 87 running right behind him. Good battle for third. Chuck Perry now taking over third place in the 115. Brock Bowen in the 56 drops back a spot. But that spot is still being contested, but right now we've got a caution on the track as we've got about 3 cars stacked up over in turn 1. And it looks like just about everybody's going to roll away, except maybe that number 23 car. And he seems to be ready to go green. Once again, Shane Heflin leading him around. And away we go! And we got some banging going on at third position. That's Chuck Perry in the 115 on the outside. On the inside is Brock Bowen in the 56. And they've made contact and make some more as we go through turn 4. And make some more as we go into turn 1. And looks like Brock Bowen is going to come out the winner in that. Chuck Perry comes charging back on the outside. And now on the inside. And probably not too happy with his manhandling by the 56 Brock Bowen, and he works his way on the inside of Bowen, and now they're back at it again as they bump coming out of turn number 2. But Chuck Perry takes over third spot. And we got caution. All right. Shane going slow. Now he's ready to go. Here they come. There they go. We're racing. All right, still Shane Heflin in the lead in the 63. Lawrence Maklicek in the 87. Running second. Third is Chuck Perry in the 115. Brock Bowen in the 56. Hunter Flanagan in the 58. That's your top 5. All right, best racing on the track right now is for 4th place. It looks like Hunter Flanagan is going to take that away from Brock Bowen, and he moves solidly in the 4th. All right, Hunter Flanagan started to reel in Chuck Perry in that 58 car. He'll be looking for third place. Meanwhile, Brock Bowen on the outside making a move now. And we got a 3-car battle for third. As Bowen and Flanagan have both caught Chuck Perry. Meanwhile, up front, Lawrence Meklachek is catching up to Shane Heffling, especially in the corners. As once again, he comes up, closes up real tight as the two come together coming out of turn 4. And 3 wide coming across the start-finish line for third place. And looks like Brock Bowen and Hunter Flanagan, Chuck Perry and Hunter Flanagan got together, and Brock Bowen takes over third place. So some good racing for first and second, good racing for third place. And once again, Meklachek on the turns, able to make up a lot of ground on Shane Heffling. And the two of them once again come together past the start-finish line. We'll see if Meklachek can make the outside work. He looks to have the horsepower this time to make it happen. Your new leader, Lawrence Meklachek in the 87. Shane Heffling in 63 is running second. But I wouldn't say that one's over yet. Brock Bowen in 56 has a solid hold on third place right now. All right, after he's gotten by Shane Heffling, Lawrence Meklachek starting to open up a gap. Meanwhile, Brock Bowen in the 56 started to close up on second place runner Shane Heffling. And Brock Bowen has caught Shane Heffling, and they will battle it out as we have 1 lap to go to settle this one. One more lap. All right, checkered flag is out. It's ready to wave. There it is. There's your winner, Lawrence Meklachek. Second place, Brock Bowen. Third place, Shane Heffling. That's the way they win in our last race of the evening. And many other tracks for that matter. Lawrence Meklachek from Corpus Christi. His sponsors: Mattress Firm, Ace Transmission, Young's Auto Repair, Sames Ford, Texas Battery, All In Designs, Empire Racing Chassis. Another great run by Lawrence Meklachek and a very, very strong finish. Like Shane Heffling had it covered, but Lawrence Meklachek hanging in there and closing the deal in the last few laps of this race.